Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Bruce Swartz. I'm in Montreal, Quebec. I study astronomy and ufology. Have an amazing community. Thank you all for taking the time to subscribe to the channel. Really helps. Creators need subscribers so that YouTube's algorithm will push videos out and recommend them so that people will see and the work and, get an interest for the research and stuff. So I thank you all for all the efforts you do and all the shares. So what are we looking at? Well, a strange phenomenon occurred the other day while I was filming on the 14th, yes, 2 days ago, to be able to try and film stars in the Geminids, which I only got one falling star. It should have been 150 falling stars an hour. So not going to hide it, I did not get any. Not one, actually one. The only one I got, I will show you at the end of the video, which is interesting. But again, these rods or beams of light that were going by in the sky, it's not even snowing, and I'm sitting there and I'm seeing these like flashlights in the sky. I could not see it with the naked eye. Obviously, this was with the infrared camera. So infrared camera goes and gets wavelengths that your eyes can't see. And this is why it's important, well, for me, to use the infrared camera if I want to try to see things in space that are being hidden from us. NASA has ginormous infrared telescopes. But check it out. Look at the beams and the rays, the way they're passing by. Could this have anything to do, and I'm no expert, with the geomagnetic storms that they were talking about headed to Earth a couple of days ago? Now, so that nobody asks me, is it snowing out, Bruce? No. Is it cold out? Yeah, chilly, right? Ice crystals are always apparent in the sky here when I'm doing the infrared, right? They don't always show up on the camera, though. Almost never. Cold nights has nothing to do with the crystals in the infrared. Some nights I see them, some nights I don't. But this is not crystallization. It's massive beams of light that are so bright that it's actually hiding the stars behind it. And we're talking about a clear sky. This is what the sky looked like. Okay? The whole night. It was beautiful, but I still didn't see any falling stars except for that one. And again, a great interference of light that was showing up everywhere in the sky, and then it suddenly stopped. It was something going by. It was incredible. So I thought geomagnetic storms. We're definitely seeing something. What are they? Electrons, maybe protons? And someone will say, well, they're small. You can't see them. Well, when they're flying at millions of kilometers an hour through space, right? Infinitely, right? That's what's going on. Maybe we're capturing them. Anyways, here's the falling star, and here are all the frames of the falling star that you just saw in close-up. That's why I'm moving over the screen so that you can see. There it is, breaking up until it goes and disintegrates. We're going back to see biological creatures because that's the theme, right? Biological UFOs. I'm seeing movement. There's a fireball coming into the atmosphere. It takes many years for whistleblowers to get help. I've seen a lot of them. Some of them killed, some of them laughed at, ridiculed. Most of them are. Which it's hard to understand, right? A whistleblower is someone that tries to help the people. That's how I see it, and often that's not what it passes off for. People are skeptical about the people, and I don't understand how come they would trust the government but not the people. But anyways, here it is, because they're good people and they believe in the government. I accept that, but let's change subjects. This is a UFO going by in the sky. Let's take a good look at this one because this is pretty exciting. As it's going by, an apparent flash, I was looking through it, right at it. A very large flash appeared further down the sky in front of that object. That's pretty intriguing. Look at this. Not even having to move, and you just see all these objects going by in different directions. No, they're not all satellites, that's for sure. This is an interesting, look at that, an interesting object, an interesting capture. It is a UFO like I usually see, but look how it looked like it just appeared, right? Materialized itself. There's the word I was looking for. Let's see that one more time. There it is one more time. Watch this. It appears in the camera, right in front. Like I'm holding this. I'm looking at the sky because I saw a flash there, and then this thing appears. So that object appeared, materialized out of nowhere. We talk about debris. A lot of you ask me, Bruce, do you ever get any debris? Because it doesn't look like debris. Well, I understand and I agree with you because usually they don't look like debris, but this one, for example, really does. I've showed it a couple of times, not too many times actually, but I'm going to show it again. This is something that looks like it's spiraling around, lost in space at a very slow speed. So that very well could be debris, yes. And by the moon here, do you notice how the camera is just leaning on the moon so that we can see off of it, using the light of the moon itself to be able to see these little lights going by, little moments that they go by, not easy to capture either. Let's go to the moon. Show these objects near, I'm not going to say where it's near. It's on the surface of the moon, and I got my channel shut down the last time I had showed that many years ago. This is on the moon. It's very long stretches, 3 of them side by side, and there are probably more, but there were hazes and dusts. Look at the teeth-like objects. It looks like we're looking at bone. It looks like we're looking at an x-ray of the inside of a spine of something, or a knee, or it looks like somebody got some metal in his knee or shoulder, like an operation. This is what these images remind me of. But let me tell you, okay, we're looking at the surface of the moon. This object, whatever it may be, is on the moon. And we could see massive industrial connections, which would have taken thousands of, many years anyways, to have built. That is without a doubt. Storms of clouds, UFOs, biological UFOs. What are they? We'll be talking near the end of the video also about tardigrades and living organisms that do live in space. There are said to be tardigrades on the moon, and we'll be talking about that too. A beautiful image showing some truth about what is on the surface of the moon. Biological creatures were seen in a mission, a certain Apollo mission, the Tether incident, right? And that incident showed us a lot of living organisms in space that were actually very large. So when I show this large object, couple miles wide, good couple kilometers wide, it makes you wonder what we are seeing. We're seeing color on the surface, but what are those big clouds going by? They could be groups of biological creatures too, living organisms, big or small. This is theoretical, but let me tell you something. NASA's never showed any moment at all living organisms like this, or moving creatures, or biological UFOs, whatever these are, on the moon. They've never ever been showed before. There's something in the atmosphere on the moon. There are clouds going by. Please trust me when I show you this, that I've not manipulated this footage. This is an amazing way of viewing the surface. And whatever the reason, the chance that I got to be able to capture these and to be able to share it with the world, I'm just so grateful. I honestly am. Because this finding for me was the most beautiful thing I had ever realized in my entire life. It was my biggest awakening. It made me really start realizing my surroundings and realizing that whether the ones ruling this earth are bad or not, they still are hiding many things from us. And this is a beautiful thing to learn about. I find it's totally top secret, right? Finding things on the surface of the moon. Listen, guys, we look at the Apollo 11 landing. People are still talking about it, getting millions of views on their videos, and we don't even know if they went or not. 60 years ago, 40 years ago, Bob Lazar. Stories still going, still strong, movies being made, and he's still getting attention on that, right? Linda Moulton Howe, right? Roswell. It's all 30 years old. Linda, she talked to someone from the government that exposed alien entities. Okay, it's been 30 years, and I'm a good effort for her to have done it. It's just that I don't understand why I'm not connecting with these people, right? Because I'm showing a truth that is connected to all those findings. Roswell, Linda Moulton Howe talks about the entities, right? We have all these moments where UFOs were captured over New Mexico. I mean, what else do people want to know? If we're seeing UFOs flying around, that could be governmental or alien. But let me tell you, if people are interested in 60-year-old footage and not interested in a brand new footage with a telescope that, by the way, was over $10,000 US, right? I'm sort of infatuated with bioluminescence. It's beautiful here in our oceans, the rare animals on the ground that are not in the oceans and waters of Earth that are bioluminescent. I'm just very recently learning about it this year, because most ocean animals, they produce their own light, or they host bacteria that does so for them. A useful skill for communication. They use it to find prey. They use it to camouflage themselves, and a whole lot more. Not quite the same thing here. We're not in the ocean, they say. Well, I don't know anymore. We're on the moon. They do look like they're floating around in some kind of invisible ocean. But we're looking at a UFO. Let's call it a biological UFO, right? It's definitely something that's unevenly moving wherever it wants. A gas is coming from it. This yellow fluorescent gas. There is no filter here. I'm straight up, close up to it. You see that? But by lowering the exposure, you are seeing what clearly looks like, without me being a genius, just my stupid basic little head, a chemical reaction. That's what we're looking at, a chemical reaction. We're looking at some type of reaction, this object with either the atmosphere around the moon, or there's something going on. What's the object that's beside it that is exactly following it? And we even see what looks like maybe even its shadow, right? That's how close it is to the surface. This is a big object, very big actually, and literally a reaction all around it. So look at that. When I take the exposure down, guys and gals, it's over the moon. No, it's maybe not pressed up on the surface, but it's not close to Earth whatsoever. And it would not have been seen if I wouldn't have zoomed up really close. I just think it's absolutely extraordinary. Tardigrades, also known as water bears or moss piglets, I love the moss piglets, are a phylum of eight-legged, segmented micro-animals that are said to live in space and maybe even on the moon. They were first described by, of course, a German zoologist in 1773 who called them little water bears. In 1777, the year after 1776, 4th of July, the States, right? America. The Italian biologist Lazzaro Spallanzani named them Tardigrada, which means slow steppers, like astronauts. These are the real first astronauts. Scientists keep learning about tardigrades and their remarkable ability to survive basically just about anywhere. And they've learned that different species of tardigrades have different adaptations for a wide variety of environmental threats. This is why it's important to look at a creature when you find it, because it could tell a lot about its surroundings and its needs just by the way it looks. So if it was in space in a cold area, they turn into pill form and last for decades, or they would grow cysts, bubbly, see-through cysts around them, which would in reality protect them from cold environments. So they adapt to their environment. If it wasn't for my amazing community, this channel wouldn't even exist. Thanks a whole bunch, everyone. I really appreciate it. Slow disclosure is in progress. More information will be coming, a lot more.
is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we've had a